Uh, on paper where the story's told, facts and truth, the legend grows. Lionheart's here with fire to spit. It's on paper with Anthony Smith.
With Anthony Smith. Welcome back to the On Paper podcast. I'm Kelly Murphy, and more importantly, that is my co-host, former UFC light heavyweight, the ultimate girl dad himself, and obviously my better half, Anthony Lionheart Smith. Anthony, new location. Where the hell are you? How are you? Give me all the answers.
Yeah, we're in a different location today. I'm in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Again, this is going to come out a little bit later, so I don't want to get too much into it because it won't matter by the time you guys all listen to this. But one of my main guys, Blaine Richards, is defending his CFFC title here in Atlantic City. So I'm here coaching him and getting ready for that. There's a big grappling event going on here as well. Again, by the time you guys see this, Chris Weidman will have already had a grappling match with Pat Downey, and a host of different people are doing their thing.
Oh, yeah.
So that's where I'm going to go watch that tonight. And then Blaine will fight. And then my family's flying in here. So I got this Airbnb. I got my guy Tracy and Danny and Carlos. And, you know, the main crew is here. And we're going to go on a boat. And we're going to go fish. And we're going to see if we can catch a shark. So that's our weekend plans. My kids got out of school today.
There you go.
So they're having a pool party back at the house. Everyone's having a good time. So that is what I am doing. How are you?
I am fantastic. It's a long weekend for me. Hence why we're recording today. For those, pull back the curtain, obviously, like you just did. It's Friday. Typically, we record Monday nights. And it's the start of a 5-day weekend for this girl. So you can already hear it in my voice. I went out last night. One too many shots, but I can't complain.
There we go.
Happy.
All right. So
let's talk about what we're going to do today. We're going to do something a little bit different. Exciting though, but let everybody know what we're going to do.
Okay, so today there's not a whole shit ton of new MMA news. There's a lot of big stories, and we've covered most of those. So instead of you guys listening to me just rehash the same bullshit over and over again, and we try to make up what we think is going to happen, we're going to have a little fun today. We're bringing on my friend Jesse on Fire. Jesse is, for those of you that don't know him, go over to his channel, give him a little bit of a follow, and he's a maniac. Jesse is a goddamn maniac. He's crazy. He's super passionate. He loves MMA. He had 2 channels at once that he's kind of merged into one now. And he's just a lot of fun. He talks on some pop culture stuff. He takes big groups of people to fights a couple times a year, kind of hosts this big trip. And we've just kind of built this, this friendship over a long period of time. He's a girl dad. Which I appreciate. Is all of his kids do jiu-jitsu. He's super deep into jiu-jitsu. His wife's pretty cool. Now I'm knocking stuff over. There we go. He's just fun. He's fun. So he's a guy that I just enjoy talking to. So we're gonna bring him on. There's no goddamn telling what he's gonna say though. He's a bit of a wild card at times. So if here in a couple weeks there is no more On Paper podcasts on YouTube, it's Jesse on Fire's fault for sure. So that's what we're gonna do. I'm guessing we'll talk a little bit of MMA. He's been pretty big into the Diddy stuff lately. So I have to ask him about that, what his opinion is there.
We've been teasing Diddy talk.
So we're going to,
it was only right.
We're going to rip a little bit. We're going to have a good time. We're going to chit chat and see where it goes. We're graced with Jesse on Fire. I've known Jesse a long time. And I finally get an opportunity to get him on here. What's going on, bro?
Let's go, dude. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. I'm just out here in Atlantic City. I got my guy Blaine Richards is defending a CFFC title, so I'm hanging out here. Actually, by the time this episode drops, he will probably have already fought and likely won. So
wait, what time's the event? Like, is
the event's on Saturday, but this isn't dropping until Tuesday.
Oh, right.
Yeah. I'm doing it before.
Yeah.
That I don't, because we're going to be out here. We're going shark fishing on Sunday.
Come on.
Yeah, it's going to be a good time.
What kind of sharks?
I got Carlos Trinidad. The bare knuckle fighting phenom, playing bartender real quick. Yeah. So listen, bro, we're just gonna jump right in and we're gonna get into some fun stuff. We're gonna talk some MMA for sure. We're gonna talk just kind of the landscape of things. We got to talk about this Diddy stuff because I see on your channel you've been talking a little bit of this Diddy stuff. What the hell's going on here? Is Diddy getting off or not?
Dude, honestly, I was just talking to somebody about this today, and it's like, I I think my personal perspective is skewed a little bit because some of this stuff doesn't sound that weird to me, where I'm trying to imagine like the jury. Like, let me ask you this. Do you know, okay, so how many people need to vote guilty for a person to be guilty? Does it have to be unanimous?
I think it has to be unanimous. I think it has to be all of them.
He might get off, dude. Like they're calling these freakouts. So basically, like, I mean, for people who are like not watching it at all, the core of this case is essentially that Diddy's 10-year girlfriend, who he had this like swinger relationship with, where they would set up these like, you know, they go to a hotel, they'd have an escort come, and Diddy liked to watch her with the dudes or whatever, and they would do drugs all weekend and like, you know, bang it out or whatever. They're basically painting that as some kind of trafficking thing where she was like a victim. And that's kind of the core part of their case. And it's like, you look at these text messages, it's like, clearly she was not like, you know, she's down. Like there were text messages that were so damning, dude, like where you could just tell it's like, this is just a dude and his girlfriend talking. And the thing is that he's a woman abuser. Like that, you know, if this is a domestic violence case, he's fucking cooked. But trafficking is something different. And you know, yesterday they were like showing what they found in his house. Like, this is what I'm saying. In his house, they're showing that he had a bunch of lube in his house, and then they showed that he had guns in his house, and then drugs.
Wait, we got to talk about the baby oil and the lube, and I've already talked about this little part of it a bunch. If I was the prosecutor, I would go hard on the 1,000 bottles of baby oil. Jesse, 1,000 bottles of baby oil is fucking terrifying. Like, just imagine you're bouncing around in a Diddy party and they're like, hey, where's the bathroom? And then like you take a left instead of a right and you walk into a room and there's a case of 1,000 bottles of baby oil. I'm fucking shooting my way out of there.
No, that's true.
The scariest thing in the world. Like, I don't give a shit what you say. Whatever he's guilty of, he did it. 1,000 bottles. You don't know a person. I bet you don't know a human being that's bought and used in its entirety an entire bottle of baby oil. Like, people have bought it, like you buy it on the beach, you lose it or whatever. But like, my mom had the same bullshit, crusty, label peeling off bottle of baby oil my entire life. It was a 20-year-old bottle of baby oil. Never used it.
Dude,
That's
I didn't even know
terrifying.
you could use baby oil as like a lubricant, you know? Like, I didn't even know that was... Well, yeah, that's what I mean. I assume with
Tracy,
you know, like I know he likes to like
baby oil as a lubricant.
I mean, just use coconut oil
we don't know.
Civilized gentleman, for God's sake.
Is that what he was using it for, though?
The baby oil has to. Yeah, I mean, I think he like, you know, put it all over and make it slippery. Listen, to be clear, the guy is a monster. That no matter what happens, if he gets sent to prison, I'm going to be like, I mean, a very bad guy has been taken off the streets. The thing about the case
he goes
itself,
to prison,
though,
him and R. Kelly be putting out bangers.
Yeah. So the thing about it, though, is I think that it seems very obvious to me that the case itself, they are doing everything that they can to keep the case focused exclusively on Diddy and not bringing in anyone else. Like, no other high end people, like no other, you know, no, they don't want any other musicians in it. They don't want any business people in it. They just want to target it on Diddy.
Why do you think
I think that's why the case seems pretty soft, because it's like,
why do you think that is?
They don't want to bring in, because do you know the reason why this happened? At least my very, very confident opinion of why he ended up facing these charges.
I'll tell you what I thought, and then you tell me the truth. But I thought it initially started with the Cassie lawsuit coming, and it was a pretty large number too. And like, once she
got 20 million from Diddy.
Once she like filed it, he settled it the next day.
I mean, it's still gnarly, dude. A fucking girl. Like, anytime you see a dude beating up a girl, that's why I'm saying, like, there's nothing that could happen to this dude that I'd feel bad about. Like, there's certain things that you can't come back. It's like if a dude's blacked out drunk and like some one-time thing happens where he like throws a girl too hard or whatever. It's like, okay, now you're on thin ice. But a dude who consistently, intentionally is beating women, I'm like, I don't give a fuck what happens to that guy, dude. You could throw him off a building and I'm good with it, dude.
Totally.
But So here's what I think is going on, because this is a pattern of behavior for 30 years. Like if you look at some of the some of these civil lawsuits are probably bullshit, but not all of them. You know what I mean? And the reason why this came to fruition is because Diddy was in a partnership with Diageo, which is the largest liquor distribution company in the world. It's a $100 billion company.
That's right.
That's where his partnership with Ciroc, he had gotten paid something like $300 or $400 million through his Ciroc partnership over the span of that. So they launched a tequila brand together called De Leon. And when Diageo acquired Casamigos, which is George Clooney's tequila for $1 billion,
right?
Diddy got super bent out of shape about it and went after them like, why are you acquiring another tequila when we have a tequila together? And they're like, they're different markets. Like, you know, there's the same people aren't going to all drink the same, whatever. So Diddy was super unhinged. He actually directly threatened them that he's like, somebody better make this right, or I'm going to burn the whole house down. I'm going to tell the world that you guys are racist. All this. He put this in writing. These are in emails. So they didn't do whatever he was asking them to do. And Diddy, after hundreds of millions of dollars, and he's a 50-50 partner with them on this, you know, De Leon thing, he fucking sued them, and he said that they were racist towards black people, that they were yada. He specifically called them racist. The stock went down $22 billion. It went from 100 billion, or like it was like 96 down to like 72 or something. And at the end of it, they ended up settling with him. So like they bought him out of his Ciroc partnership. They bought him out of the De Leon tequila for, you know, undisclosed amount, but probably, you know, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Right.
That settled in January of 2024, and fucking Homeland Security raided him 3 months later. And I'm like,
Huh.
And you know who two of the largest shareholders in Diageo are BlackRock and Vanguard. Okay. Like if you want to talk about people you don't fuck with, those guys.
Yeah,
they destroy people.
I'm uncomfortable you just bringing it up.
Yep.
I don't like it. All right. So
that's my theory is that's exactly
we'll
why
see.
it happened.
We'll see what happens with this Diddy thing. But I was curious on your take. Yeah. It's fun to watch it on your channel.
What do you think? Like, do you think
there's no way. There's no way he walks.
You think so?
The feds they don't come after anyone unless they're sure.
Yeah.
They have like a 98% conviction rate. They were probably Diddy was cooked before he knew they were looking, I would imagine.
That's exactly what I think.
I just don't. I think the more shoes are going to drop, and I think that if they start to get uncomfortable or nervous towards the end, I think that they'll pull out the big guns, and a lot of other people will come down. I think they're trying to limit the blowback on a bunch of other people, but I think if they have to, they'll bring down as many people as they have to just to get him.
They probably have other cases they can put on him if he beats this one.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, he's not going anywhere. I think that they're just trying to keep it as cheap as possible. But he's where he's probably going to die, I'd imagine.
Dude, when the fucking windbreakers raid multiple properties of yours, you're going to prison, dude. Like
right. For sure.
You know,
for sure.
They don't
listen. They
couldn't
raid my house and go through my paperwork and me. Like when there's that many people and that many you can't hide it all.
Yeah.
Like I would end up behind bars, and I don't do shit wrong. Like,
I know, dude. That's what I was.
They'll find something. If they dig deep enough, they'll find something.
I was thinking about that. I'm like, fuck, man. Like if they
would you survive an
house
FBI
and
raid?
they wanted to like paint a picture, you know, like
would you
they just lay out all my guns just as an example. They're like, he had an arsenal in his house. I'm like, dude, I just like guns, man. You know, like this isn't illegal. You know, it's like they can paint any picture they want.
I wouldn't survive it. Yeah, I wouldn't survive it. They can paint whatever they want. All right, so
I think everybody commits a lot of crimes without even recognizing that they're committing crimes.
Yeah, probably.
You know,
I don't disagree. All right, so Diddy's fucked.
Yeah,
I know. So I don't quite understand it all because I haven't dug super deep into it, but correct me when I mess this up. So Jon Jones and Nate Diaz they're in Thailand, correct?
It's like the Russian Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, Jon Jones in Thailand is insane to me.
He's going to do a lot of booze and a lot of women.
Listen, whatever he wants to do. He's a grown man. He can do whatever he wants. But he's
probably super fun to hang out with, man.
I bet I've said this a bunch of times. I bet Jon Jones and I would, if you take away all the cameras, all the bullshit, all the media stuff, and we were in a place where we knew for sure we could just sit down and have an honest conversation and just kick it for a little bit, I bet we'd enjoy each other's company.
Dude, if you guys
I don't
trained
think
out of the same gym, you guys would be best friends.
yeah, I just don't. I think that circumstances have put us in the positions we're in. But I think
Yeah.
if we could sit down and be very what was the word I'm looking for? Very trustworthy of the scenario.
Mhm.
Like phones are off, no cameras, no nothing. Like we can just have a genuine interaction. I don't think we would have a bad time. But
I agree with that 100%.
he goes to Thailand. They wanted it to be DC versus John, which obviously they couldn't do.
Damn.
John Jones and Nate Diaz seem like a very odd couple to put together, but I could see it working.
Mhm.
But then there's this scuffle, and I know that you probably you know the bowels of this industry. So
Well,
what
basically, I mean,
happened?
like Jake said that,
Shields,
you
Jake
know,
Shields.
Jake Shields, yeah.
Okay.
So like he basically said, like I watched this video, but then I talked to him afterwards, and it's like he almost wasn't there, And what it sounds like, I didn't know this, that same production, they had done it previously, and some dude snuck up behind Aljamain Sterling and fucking strangled him. Did you hear about that?
No,
Like some
not
guy
at
had
all.
like on that
That
same
was
show.
Aljo versus Piotr Jan, right?
Yeah, and someone
Yeah.
strangled Aljo. Like, like they just hey, it doesn't matter what your pedigree is if someone walks up behind you and slaps a choke on you with you not
Right.
recognizing that you're in a fight. So they choked him out or whatever. And I thought about that. Then so when Nate and Jake get there, he said, they had all these problems with these. I didn't even remember that Nate and them had problems with the Dagestanis. I mean, and then the Hamzat thing with the
Always.
Chechens. So like
Yeah.
basically Eastern Europe is like Nate Diaz is like apparently an enemy over there.
Yeah.
But so I mean, if you listen to basically how he laid it out and then what he verified with me yesterday is like he felt like they brought them in there specifically to fuck them up on camera and like have that be the show. Because like the production crew was attacking Jake afterwards. Like
Wow.
he said when he was in so Nate slapped the dude. The dude came up, they're like doing, it's a reality show. He's like, hey, you're not a gangster. I'm a fucking gangster, whatever. And he just kept pressing it. And Nate's chill in real life,
Right. Yeah.
as long as you don't do that shit.
Yeah, but you have to know that if you come up talking shit to Nate, there's about a 95% chance he's going to stalk and slap you.
100%.
He's probably not going to hit
he
you.
did that.
He's not going to punch you. He's going to slap the fuck out of you.
Yeah. It's like a warning. It's kind of like it's more of a warning than anything else.
Right.
But yeah, so he slapped the dude, and then and apparently this guy who he had slapped is like was on the previous one, and he's like this rowdy ass lunatic who always goes and tries to like start fights with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And so eventually it's Nate's fucking crew, dude. Like Jake and all these guys, Jake and Gilbert and all those guys, like, and then they're surrounding guys. Those guys are gonna bang it out if like you fuck around with them. Like they're down to fight.
Right.
And so they end up getting into it, and then Jake ends up into it with some guy, and then he's on his back, and the production crew started kicking him. And so like so he got up, and when the crew jumped in, that's when they were like, okay, we're out. And so they bounced, and they took off and went to some hotel or whatever. And and then those guys pretended like they were trying to find them or whatever. And Jake's like, dude, everyone knew exactly where we were. So they made all this contact, like, we're going to go find these motherfuckers. He's like, dude, we were at the same place for 3 days. They could have found us. It was easy.
Are they back now?
Yeah.
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 So I wonder if Nate got paid.
No, me too.
I know. That makes me wonder.
I wonder what they were going to pay him too. Cause like to get
God,
John
it can't
and
be,
Nate out
it
there, they must have
can't
been
be
paying
cheap.
good money.
Yeah, it can't be cheap. Like to get John and Nate to
Yeah.
Thailand to do a show when neither one of these guys really enjoy media that much, it's got to be a lot.
Yeah. Cause God, man, have you ever done a reality show? Were you ever on Ultimate Fighter?
No, I would though. I haven't,
Yeah.
but I would. Yeah.
Cause
Yeah,
reality
if they're still
TV is
filming, let me
like-
know. I'll come over. I'll help you finish the show.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. It's like fun kind of, but it's exhausting, man. Cause Gabrielle and I got
Oh my
married on
God,
a
that's
reality
right.
show.
You and your wife, do you guys knew each other before the reality show?
Yeah. We lived together. And then
Okay.
the reality
the
show
show?
was like, it was called Hitched or Ditched. And it was like, we had no idea what it was. But like when we agreed to do it, we thought it was a fucking game show for couples.
Mm-hmm.
And what it actually was like they show up and they're all, okay, you guys are together, but you're not engaged. But listen, we're going to throw you the most incredible wedding of all time in 7 days. And you're just going to have to decide whether you want to go through with it or not at the altar. So that's like the plot of the show.
Yeah.
And, but obviously, dude, it's me and Gabrielle. We knew exactly what it, like once they sounded like they might cast us, we found shit online. We knew what it was. So we knew what we were signing up for. So we faked everything. Like our whole show is just completely made like fake. I beat up her ex-boyfriend. Like I fake beat up her ex-boyfriend. Like
So he was
they
in on it
called,
too.
they were trying to set things up that would make us fight, but we were always like one step ahead. So her ex like called her. He's like, "Hey, can I talk to Jesse?" He's like, "Hey man," he's like, "this is kind of weird circumstances for us to meet under." He's like, "But these like the producers, these show, like they want to pay me $2,000 to like participate in this show. I don't really know exactly what they want me to do." And I was like, "Bro, take that fucking money." I'm like, the fact that you called me means me and you are good forever, dude. Because like that's him like that's like the ultimate acknowledgement. Is like, that's your girl, dude. I have to ask permission to even participate in this thing. You know what I mean? And then so what they wanted him to do was pretend like he was crashing her bachelorette party. He's like, "I still love you." And so like, and that's exactly what he did. He completely played along,
I
dude.
still
He came and
love
did that.
you though.
Yeah. And then I'm like, they brought us together before we filmed it. And they're like, "Okay, so what's going to happen? We're going to have him do this. And then Jesse, you're going to come in there and you're going to just do whatever you would do." I'm like, "Okay, I'm not going to like attack this." Like they were just telling me this without him even there. They're like, "So you just do whatever you're going to do." I'm not fucking putting hands on this dude unless he and I meet first, dude. Cause like, I'm not going to risk him not knowing what I'm doing and thinking I'm actually fucking attacking him like a lunatic,
Right.
So him and I like talked about it, and then we did like a little fake fight or whatever. Is like, that's the only question anyone asked me, dude. They were like, "Hey, was that fight real?" I'm like, "Are you fucking serious?"
No.
I hope you would know me better than that. If that fight was fucking real, he would have gotten, not real, obviously.
No. So, but you won the fight.
I mean, yeah.
Did you get the wedding? Did they pay for the wedding?
Fire, and my friends came and grabbed me,
So they put this. So then you guys got the wedding, and like that was a real wedding.
It was a real wedding, but like it was so bizarre, man. Like they made us. It was like a show, so they made us like refilm things. They refilm her coming in, refilm us doing our vows, and like personality wise, like do you feel weird like making a fuss about yourself? Like, do you ever throw yourself big birthday parties?
No,
Never, dude.
Never.
Right? Very very against like how like my personality. So just the concept of everyone being there to be like, "Yay," was already super awkward.
Mm-hmm.
And then they kept making us redo shit. And I was like, "Oh my God, dude, just let these people fucking get out of here." Like they're
right. It's weird.
They're captured in these chairs.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Is like reality shows is like, they're fun, but it's exhausting and long. And you have to do everything over and over and over. And
yeah, it's a lot. All right. So there's that. What we haven't ever talked about on whether I'm with you or you're doing something with me over here. How did Jesse on Fire, like the channel, start? Like what? Because there was another one too that was Jesse on Everything, right?
Yeah.
So
which somehow merged into the same channel now. Like
I have a friend that it was weird. Like before I'd ever met you, he'd send me these reels and like these like YouTube shorts and like just videos, and it was you. It was hilarious. It was they were always ones where like your face is turning red as you're like you can see the red fill in your face, and whatever it is, it's something you're super passionate about, and you're just losing your fucking mind about something. And it would be a host of different things, right? Whatever it might be. And so I just watch it and I'd laugh and I'd send them back, like a crying face emoji. But I never like keyed in on like the name. I would just recognize your face. Like I never like connected it with like, that's Jesse on Fire. That's whatever. I just would like he'd send the video and I'd watch it. I'd recognize your face. You'd fucking freak about something, like lose your mind about something. Yeah. And we'd laugh about it. And then I'd go on. Right.
Yeah.
And then I meet you and, we start chatting and texting. And then all of a sudden, like I come on your show and I'm, and like I haven't connected that this is the same.
It was through DM. I remember like we were talking like you thought you were just coming on like an MMA show, and then I sent you a clip, and you're like, "Oh shit, I know who you are."
I was like, "I fucking know who you are," but I never like connected that with him. So then I come on, and we're chopping it up or whatever, and then and that's the rest is history. That's how our friendship was built. But I remember then something was posted, like you had posted like a part, like or someone had clipped it or whatever, and he sent it to me, and he was like, "Are you fucking serious? I love that fucking guy." It was just the wildest thing. But that's how that was my introduction to you was through Kyle. So like, how did they start? Like, what was the idea? I guess like you just wanted to rip videos.
Yeah, so when I did those reality shows, the producers of those shows were like the producers of The Bachelor, the producers of Undercover Boss, just like very established like reality TV people, and they kept saying they're like, I don't know, they were very complimentary of our performances, and so I was like, oh man, all right, so like And also watching other people in those shows just freeze on camera. It was just very bizarre to me because I'm like, dude, just act normal. Because like this is how I am all the time, you know? And so I kind of knew that I could do, you know, the camera thing. I didn't understand social media, but like, so in January of 2020, or maybe like December of 2019 is when TikTok first started blowing up. And Gabrielle's like, yeah, it's this new social media platform. You should just like get on it. And I was like, all right. And they're only a minute long. So I'm like, I could just commit to do at least one TikTok every day for 2 years and then just like see what happens. Like if it works, it works. If it doesn't, whatever. And within 3 months, it had just like blown up on TikTok. And so I was like, oh shit. And it's like everybody thinks that social media is this incredibly complicated problem to solve, which it is. But the problem, the solution is always put out content every day and be talented. You know what I mean? Right. And then so once that took off, I'm like, all right, this is awesome. I have 100,000 followers. I'm like, how do people make money doing this? And then it's like, oh, well, they do it on YouTube. And I'm like, oh shit. So then I started looking into YouTube monetization and I just went, all right. And I just literally focused all of my energy on building YouTube, where it was like, you know, so when I did the TikTok, like my stuff was MMA and then me telling old stories about like street fights or like street fights I got in, or like fucking, you know, chicks that like got arrested because of blah, 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 or like just crazy shit that had happened. And I had to do them in multiple parts, you know, because like you'd only fit it in a minute. Right. There's no way I could tell these stories in less than like 8 minutes. So I would have multiple parts. So what I did to drive them over to YouTube is I would tell the first half of the story and I'd be like, hey, I finished it on YouTube. And then so everybody had to
You're
come
such
over.
A piece of shit.
Yeah.
You're one of those fucking assholes.
Yeah. Cause dude, if you don't have a name and you don't have the ability to do that, growing to like your first 1,000 subscribers is super fucking hard on YouTube, like really hard. And so I kind of jumped that line. Because once you have a couple thousand subscribers, your metrics will tell the algorithm. They're like, oh, people really like this, and they'll start promoting it. But when you don't have any, there's no real way to do that, and it's like you have to just kind of figure out a way to do it. But yeah. I mean, I just talked about whatever I was worked up about, to your point, and I fucking I've always loved. I've loved UFC forever, so it was like that was just a common sense place to start.
And it just worked, and now you've been rolling with it. For those who don't know, you gotta. I'm not gonna blow up your spot. I'm not gonna say any details, but you got a pretty good gig, like in day-to-day life. Like you do really well outside of this media, podcasting, YouTube thing.
Yeah, we kill right now. We have like, that's we're
like I said, I don't want to blow up your spot, but
yeah,
you're doing well in life.
We're thinking. I mean, dude, this morning, Gabrielle, like I watched this short. Matthew McConaughey was talking about how him and Woody Harrelson just went to Greece for a month, and I'm like, this is a sign. I just went to talk to Gabrielle. Hey, let's go to let's go live in fucking Florida for 3 weeks. And it was like I was looking up jiu-jitsu schools near where we were going to rent, just like And while the kids are out of school, we can do whatever the fuck we want. You know what I mean? It's like that's the only reason I ever wanted to be successful was for that. I don't buy expensive like I don't buy anything. But I can be real frivolous with shit like that. It's like, well, let's go rent a place and just go. And
that's kind of how we are too. Like we're kind of the same way with my wife and kids. Like I got cool shit. Like I got a couple cool things.
You do have some really cool shit though.
Yeah, but it's experiences though. That's what I'm really digging deep into. You know what I mean? Like,
your cool shit is for experiences, like your vehicles that you take off.
Yeah, like the razors and yeah. It's all to like do cool shit though. Like and give the kids experiences and wow, you guys are very, very similar. And you're a girl dad, which I can appreciate.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dude, how
are the kids? They're good?
My kids are great. My oldest is going to turn 13 in about 2 months.
Yeah,
and
how
old's your oldest?
13. Yeah. It's a terrible age.
She's smart, dude. Like all of a sudden she's like smart.
She's smart, but she's like, they're also sneaky. Like
my middle is sneaky.
Yeah, they're sneaky and not in any bad ways. I mean, they're not sneaking out of the house and going and smoking weed down the street or anything. I mean, they're just, I don't know, being a parent's hard. You know, I'm preaching to the choir there and to most of the people listening to this. It's just hard. It's hard. Yeah. And I got so many different ages. Like the problems that you have with a 13-year-old girl is different than the problems with a 10-year-old girl, which is different than 10 or which is different than 8 and 3. And it's just different problems. You know what I mean? So you're like trying to manage them all and you have to do it differently because, and especially with their personalities. My oldest,
Yes.
super strong-willed, pretty tough. Like you can talk to her like an adult and be like, "What the fuck is wrong with you? What are you doing? Get your shit together," you know. Or but my 10-year-old, she's very sensitive, very, you know, she's in her feelings, cries a lot. Like you have to talk to her differently. And my 8-year-old is like a little dirtbag wrestler, you know, so like you can also kind of talk to her a little bit tougher, but also I forget sometimes that she's 8 because she's so mature in a lot of other ways. And then like I'll see her on the wrestling mat and she's out there fucking head snapping people and rolling through twisters and pinning people, and like
Her technique is wise beyond her years and tricks you.
yeah. And so like it, and like just her mentality when she's out there is very, it's older than it should be. Like she's way more mature and tough in those positions. Like her nose is bleeding. She's wiping her face, rubs it on her singlet, goes back out there. She don't give a fuck. But then the other day, so I have her at wrestling practice with a bunch of savages, bunch of really good girls locally. She's wrestling tough. I mean, hair's in their face. They're wiping and shooting and like they're fighting in there, you know? And then we get home, she showers and she says, "Hey, can I go outside for a little bit?" I said, "Yeah, go out, get in the backyard and go play." And then I walk outside like 10 minutes later and she's on top of like the swing set. She's been doing this with my wife too. She's pretending she's a pirate going, "Arr!" Like, "Oh yeah, you're fucking 8."
Oh yeah, you're 8.
You're 8.
Yeah.
You're not even quite 8. She's still 7. She'll be 8 here in a couple weeks. But like, you're just a little kid.
You're a
like
kid.
you forget sometimes where like I see she's in there scrapping and fighting and having very mature conversations on the way home and talking about techniques and whatever she wants to do for the summer, and then is pretending the play set is a pirate ship in the backyard.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah.
That's
You're
right.
You're just a little kid. Just a little kid.
I talked to him growing up, except for the one, like, you know, with like movies, like I'll let him watch like R-rated movies that are violent to, you know, depending on which one, but like no sex shit at all. Like,
yeah, I was gonna say I'll let them watch anything that's, except for the I mean sometimes they if it's too violent and there's like too, like I don't do a lot of murder stuff either. Like I watch a lot of like court TV and like
true crime,
true crime stuff.
Yeah.
I won't let them watch that because it's too real. Like it's too easy to connect that to your own personal life. Like,
yeah,
well, the guy came in the back door and not like we haven't had those kind of situations. So the true crime stuff is too real. But like for the most part, we watch whatever they'll watch whatever I'm watching, as long as no sex and no like like we're not watching the first 48. It's just it's too real. It's too
100%.
But
dude, check this out. So we have we have cameras everywhere, but we also have extra bolts on all the doors because.
Do you have cameras inside your house?
Yeah.
See, I can't do the inside. And sorry to cut you off, but I can't do the inside.
No, you're good.
I don't know why. Me and Michaela are just, I don't know, we can't do the indoor cameras.
We got them, and then like, and also, so like when we go out of town, if someone's like house sitting because take care of the cat or whatever, like we just watch them, and we're like,
that's why I don't have indoor cameras. That's fucking weird.
Yeah.
You just watch them.
Yeah, just watch them.
Looking.
Wait, what are you doing? What are you doing? Rifling through my daughter's drawer, kid? You know.
Yeah, but like, also like, sometimes they're just sitting on the couch, and
most of the time
just watching them. That's fucking weird.
I mean, we don't actually sit there and watch them, but like we could if we wanted to, you know.
Right.
But yeah, no. So the reason, like, as far as like the first 48 thing, so there was a kid who was in my daughter's class, and he also trained jiu-jitsu at a gym that we were at very briefly a few years ago. And dude, some fucking crazy person that lived next door broke into their house for absolutely no reason while this kid was sleeping. The kid was 6, hit him with a bat and killed him, dude. And this is in my daughter's fucking class.
Yeah,
and so
crazy. Yeah.
So my kids are like, you know, about people breaking into the house. They're super wigged out about it, you know, because that happened too. Yeah,
I get it.
It's like the most, that when that happened, I remember just being like,
what the fuck? Yeah, it's
like,
crazy.
Who does a thing like that?
Yeah. Crazy. People are fucking nuts.
People are nuts.
Right.
I think about that though sometimes.
That's
like,
that's why I always have a gun. Always.
I always have a gun.
I'm not going to be a victim.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to take a few people to make you a victim anyway. But like, but if someone has a gun,
I'm not fighting you. Like, if that's what it comes down to, I'm shooting everybody. That's
what I was going to say. Is like if you live in one of the states, like I assume Nebraska is probably pretty similar to Texas and Florida, like the stand your ground stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But like
constitutional carry too.
Yeah, exactly. Like my only concern about firing on somebody is like if you end up in a fight with a couple guys and like you're in the heat of the moment, and like you don't have a very good perspective on what the situation would look like from the outside. All you know is that there's a lot happening. And so the only way I could imagine me using a gun where I'd be concerned about having to defend it is like if I feel like I'm getting stomped on or something or whatever, and I'm just like bat bat. And then it turns out like I was just kind of losing a fight or whatever, and then I'd
Right.
have to because I'm not fucking
Which
risking
is a
going
real
to
fear.
prison.
That's a
I
real
got
fear.
daughters, man. Like I can't
Yeah.
go to prison.
Right.
Like
that's a
and
real
I'm not
fear.
worried about like obviously I don't want to go to prison, but like I can't. Like, that's one of my biggest fears in the world is my daughters not having a dad. I've seen the outcome of daughters without fathers, and it's
Right.
like
Well, and that's a real possible overreaction. I think that happens a lot, like even with like police officers. Like I
Mhm.
don't think that, again, are there cops out there that are bad? For sure. But
of course.
I don't think generally the cops are out looking to shoot people. I think that in their head, in that chaos that's happening, this is worst case scenario. When you're looking from the outside, you're like, yeah, the cop's gonna get the shit beat out of him. But
Mhm.
it's but that happens. Like sometimes I've been in fights where I've been like, man, that was fucking crazy. And then I watch it and like, yeah, it wasn't really that crazy.
Mhm.
Like, but
Yeah,
in my head, in the moment while it was happening, I felt like this is the craziest thing I've ever done.
totally.
But yeah,
I mean, and now at how old I am now, like I'm very like I don't feel like there's going to be a scenario where there's like a situation in the street that I can't avoid just if I want to. Like I basically just feel like I can decide what happens,
for
like
sure.
just because I could either talk or not or whatever. Like I could de-escalate basically anything unless the person is an aggressor who's coming aggressive like that. And in that case, like I'm not worried about just,
Yeah,
do whatever.
fuck it. All right, dude. Think I've taken up enough of your time. I appreciate the shit out of you, man. Thank you for coming and chit
My
chat.
pleasure, dude.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
need to jump on and do a live together with both our channels.
I'm in, dude. We can do that
Yeah.
whenever you want, man.
Yeah, that'd be a lot of fun.
Whenever you want.
And I think that was one of my favorite conversations you've had, and it wasn't with anybody like directly in the MMA space. And by that, I mean, obviously fighter, coach, whoever the hell. He is awesome.
Yeah, he's funny. He was actually a little bit reserved in that one too. I felt like I've seen him much more unhinged before, so maybe he was dialing down just a little bit for us. But yeah, I have a good time talking with Jesse, and his text messages, I read them in his voice, which is hilarious. It's just I read them in like just a chaotic, unhinged disaster. I've always had a lot of fun with Jesse.
I want to ask you two quick things before we get on out of here. I know you guys did talk a little bit of MMA, but we do have a card this coming weekend. Certainly not the best card in the world, but your guy, Dustin Jacoby's on it.
I don't ever worry too much about Dustin. It's just, as we all age, it's really just, can Dustin get into these fights, as whole as possible. He's a little bit older than I am, but he's got a lot of miles, a lot of kickboxing fights, he's just been at this a long time. So that's all I've ever worried about. Seemingly he seems to be doing okay. He's not too banged up. I think we all get a little banged up, but yeah, I just want good things for Dustin. I just want him to be successful and keep riding this pony as long as he possibly can. But I get so nervous when Dustin fights, though. It bothers me.
Just him in particular, or all the guys kind of that you're, running around with that Factory X?
To be honest, him more than the rest. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's just it's just our connection and our own personal journey that we've had through this sport together. And maybe because I'm like, okay, so Blaine's fighting. Like, I'm not super nervous for Blaine because I know what he's capable of. And I know,
Sure.
and I know how good he is. And I know that he's left no stone unturned. And so I'm really less concerned with the result. I don't of course I want Blaine to win. I really, really want Blaine to win. But I'm comfortable in the work that we put in, and I'm comfortable with where he is and how prepared he is. So and maybe I'm just expecting him to win. So I haven't really thought too much about the other side, but I just know that we've done everything that we possibly can. So the results sometimes are predetermined. It kind of just is what it is. Like, we'll go out and see what happens, and we'll deal with whatever fallout that is afterwards. But I'm pretty comfortable in where he's at right now. Same with Cody. You know, like Cody's kind of had his ups and his downs, and you know, he's been in some bad spots and he's been some great spots, and some of that is out of our control. Like Cody just kind of is what he is, and we've never shied away from Cody struggling with guys that he should beat at times, and so like me stressing over it is it's useless. We just need to,
Right. It's not going to change
yeah, we just
anything.
got to hope for the best, and if Cody shows up, you know, his best self, he'll beat almost anybody in the world because he's that good. And sometimes he doesn't, and we'll figure that out. But Dustin, I think he's close to my age. He's had a very similar journey. You know, I just want him to hold up. You know, I want him like at that point in your career, the smallest thing can make the largest difference. So if I don't know, it's just our bodies don't hold up the way that they used to. So you want to get it. I want him to get in and get out as quickly as he can, just to avoid the injuries and the bullshit and your old ass body failing on you. You know, like so. It's a 15-minute fight. Maybe you only got 12 minutes in you, you know, in terms of just how long your body's going to hold up, or maybe it's 8 minutes or so. I don't know. I just get nervous. Get really nervous.
Yeah.
And
no,
I kind of
hear
drug
you.
him back to this bullshit too. I think that's some of it is I have a connection to his journey. Like he was done. He had retired. He had been cut from the UFC, was fighting in Glory. And those guys in Glory kicked so hard that he kept breaking his arm defending the kick. So he was really struggling. So he couldn't fight like that. He couldn't fight Glory anymore because now it's a target. Like now he's got like he's got a liability. So like he was working for FedEx, and he'd come in the gym every once in a while, and I don't know, he just wasn't wanting to do this anymore, or didn't think he could. I guess that's a better way of putting it. And when I was getting ready to fight Jon Jones, I think I've said this before, Dustin Jacoby imitates fighters better than anyone I've ever met. Like if he watches someone fight for 5 minutes, he can imitate their style almost exactly. When I fought Jon, I felt like when the fight started with Jon, everything I seen in front of me, I felt like I'd already seen before, because Dustin
That's
is
crazy.
so good at just imitating styles. Like even Jon's mannerisms, like down to the way that he moves, like just the stupid little mannerisms, Dustin can do perfectly so quickly. So I begged him to come help me get ready for Jon. And by him being in the gym with me and me, you know, every single day, because I just said, dude, I'll pay you whatever you want. I need you to help me get ready for Jon Jones. And so he did. And it slowly drug him back into this fight life. And he was like, well, I'm already in really good shape. I just went through an 9-week training camp with you. Maybe I'll just take like a regional scene fight. And then he took like it was like some, I don't remember the organization, but it was a one night 3-round tournament. So the first fight was just boxing. The second, if he won, then he went to the second round, which was kickboxing. And then the third round was full MMA. And he fought it at heavyweight. And then he won the whole fucking thing. And then he like took another fight, and they were like, hey, he's like really close. So he fought one more time and then got re-signed. And this is, you know, now this is the journey he's been on. So maybe it's because I'm so connected to his journey, because we drug him back into this, and now you feel responsible for him, you know?
No, I get it. And he takes on a guy in Bruno Lopez who is 14-1, younger than Dustin by a couple of years, but no spring chicken himself. He's 32 years old. His one loss came just 2 years back by knockout. Dustin Jacoby, very capable
Yeah, it's a
of
winnable
knocking
fight.
somebody out.
Yeah, this is a winnable fight for sure. And so I'll be, you know, I'll be scared and nervous and,
Of course.
just sweaty palms and stressing out. That's what I do.
I hate to say it, but it's like, it's nice to see you on that side of it, because that's always how I feel when you fight, or, you know, Angela Hill, Misha Tate, like all of the people that I've worked with.
Today was the
throughout
best weight cut of my life.
Yeah, because it wasn't
me. It wasn't me. Yeah, we killed it today. This is way easier than me actually having to be the one to cut the weight. I just keep doing this shit. This isn't that bad.
I love it. Last quick thing from me. 2 episodes ago, we had an update, I guess really a non-update update on your car that was stuck in Denver.
Yeah.
And then the second we stopped recording, you told me that you actually did receive an update, which was horrendous timing for us.
They called like right when the episode was over.
What the hell's going on?
So the motor was shipped and it's there. I think it's in the car now. I think the car's fixed. They found another problem while they were going through other stuff with one of the front A-arms. So they had to order and ship in a new A-arm on the front, and then that's it. So then they're going to ship it to me. GM has if it's been more than a certain amount of days and it's way away from where you live, they have this like unification process. So they're actually going to pay and ship it to me themselves. So I don't have to fly anybody out there and have them drive it back.
The way things work out
I
for
know.
Anthony
But
Smith.
now here in Atlantic City, I got a rental because my family's flying in, and I can't just Uber. If I was by myself, I just Uber around. But Uber and 6 people is tough. So I rented they gave me a brand new Expedition. I was like, damn, this thing's kind of, I might get one of these. So I don't know. I might get it back and trade it in.
The new Expeditions, the new Explorers, very, very nice.
Yeah,
underrated.
I might trade in this Tahoe and go get one of these Expeditions. I don't know. I like it.
I mean, after the shit the Tahoe's put you through.
I know.
Such a short amount of time.
I know. My feelings are hurt, and maybe my time with the Tahoe has come to an end. But you know what else has come to an end?
This.
Dealing with your shit.
Oh, stop.
I'm getting out of here. I'm going to dinner. We're gonna go take Blaine out to eat and get him all fat and happy, and see if we can get him into a food coma. So as always, I appreciate you guys. Make sure you like, subscribe, share with your friends. Super easy for you guys, but it helps me a lot. So I might go take a dip in this pool really quick before I go do all that.
If it's anywhere like it is in New York, you're a state away.
It's heated.
It's freezing here.
It's heated.
Okay, my pool's heated too, and I'm not going to take a dip in it. It's 50 degrees out.
Yeah, you worry about you. I'll worry about me. Thank you very much.
Everybody.
I will see you guys soon. Don't know the exact date. I'll see you guys soon. Thank you very much. We partner with HomoFight Picks to get you the most accurate and well-researched fight predictions. They do all the legwork so you can focus on winning. Picks will be sent directly to your phone via text or email. It's totally up to you. The second we upload them. Use code Lionheart to get 7 free days at winnable.com/HOF picks. That's WINIBLE.com/HOF picks.